I'm Rachel, and I'm an X-Files fan.
Hi, I'm Elise, and I'm an X-Files fan. And so this episode is going to be our top 10 favorite underappreciated, under the radar shipper moments.
And for those of you who don't know, shipper was actually a term that was coined by X-Files fans. Thank you very much. It's a term that's used now for modern TV shows for fans who want the main two characters to get together, basically. And I think without further ado, we should hit up number 10.
Number 10, from Empedocles. This is kind of a simple, kind of an awe moment. Scully's pregnant with Mulder's love child.
Which we don't know yet at this point.
Which we don't know yet.
Yeah, it's just very secretive. We have no idea who fathered this baby when we watch this episode.
It's just a simple gesture, you know, putting your hand on a pregnant woman's stomach. A lot of people do that, but I think there's just some significance behind this because
it's one of the first times he acknowledges her baby, really. You know, like it's a little bit, because he comes back and she's pregnant all of a sudden. And it's a little bit awkward for a couple episodes. Like I remember thinking, you know, oh my God, it's gonna be this big romantic thing, but like in the first episode where he's out of the hospital, he's really awkward about it, as I recall.
Well, he might think it's someone else's baby.
I know.
Yeah, no,
I think it's just like a very visible thing of how long, a very visible representation of how much he's missed. And so this is kind of the first moment that he acknowledges it and like is happy about it. Number 9, from Tithonus. This scene is not the most overtly romantic scene, but Scully has just been shot. You can see she's in the hospital. And Mulder walks in after she's been talking to the agent that shot her, not on purpose. And I just love the way that he walks in and immediately, like, their hands just meet. It's like they don't even think about it, you know, they don't talk about it, which I guess would be awkward, but it's just very automatic, you know, even in like this moment where she's been working with another agent the whole episode, they've been separated, you know, then in the end they kind of come back together and she's injured and he cares about her and they hold hands and it's really sweet. Number 8, from Red Museum.
So this is just kind of one of those personal boundary things in a good, no, not in a bad way, like in a good way, you know, like it's not common that people touch each other's face or like get mixed up in their food situation. Like, I don't want to touch someone's dirty barbecue sauce.
You got a Cheeto on your face.
You just tickled my lip.
I meant to.
Well, I haven't eaten any Cheetos in years. I actually had some recently.
Like barbecue sauce. We just talked about that.
But yeah, you have to have a certain closeness with someone, yes, you know, to do that. So that's why I like this scene.
Number 7, from The Truth. Such a simple moment. It's so adorable and tender. It's just so sweet. You know, she's sleeping in the car and he pulls over because he's got to go pee. It's not that romantic, but before he goes to pee. And it's such a short moment in like a scene or in an episode, you know, the series finale, the original series finale, I guess we have to say now, where it's packed with romantic moments between the two of them. But this one is one of the ones you kind of forget about because it's just so quick and simple, but it is so, I don't know, I just love it. The way he just looks at her and brushes it off. I love it. It's so cute.
Does it get you in the feels, as the kids say these days?
It does get me in the feels. It definitely does.
It's the first time I've ever said that.
You're right.
Number 6, from Dreamland.
Part 2.
They're kind of saying goodbye to each other, which is a really sad moment. And the exchange of sunflower seeds, like, you would kind of think if they were saying goodbye, not knowing if they're going to see each other again, they might have this big grand like hug or something kind of, you know, more significant. But I think in its own way, sunflower seeds are Mulder's favorite snack. You know, it's like handing over that bag of Cheetos I was munching on earlier.
Well, and Mulder doesn't look like himself. He looks like another man,
yes,
which you can't tell just from watching this clip because it's shot from Mulder's mind, basically, where he sees himself as himself. But they
what?
Well, he switched bodies with another man, but we see him as Mulder in the episode, but Scully sees him as this other man. So it's awkward for them to hug because he doesn't look like himself, but they still want to have this moment together. So that's kind of as far as they can go with each other without it being weird, but it's still really sweet and like it's a nice gesture.
What she said.
Number 5, from Pusher. this whole episode is just so packed with great Mulder and Scully moments, which is why I think this moment is one that people don't remember as much. There's that big dramatic ending where he almost shoots her. Will he shoot her? Won't he? Playing Russian roulette because he's having his mind controlled and he doesn't want to shoot her.
That's the whole episode
and then there's,
explained right there.
And then they have a big handhold at the end. But this moment is such a nice kind of overlooked moment because he's about to go, he's about to risk his life to go in there, and he hands over his gun, and she's very concerned about that because she wants him to have a way to protect himself. But he's worried that he will have his mind controlled, as he does, and that he will point his gun at the wrong person. And so she, I don't know, I guess she hears his explanation and just thinks it's, I don't know if she thinks it's like brave or sweet or if she's just concerned about him or what, but I just feel like there's a lot of emotion there, and she just kind of lays her hand over his, as you saw, and it's just a really sweet moment between the two of them, and there's just a lot of emotion behind that one little gesture.
Number 4 from Field Trip. We both love this moment because it's one of those instinctive moments between Mulder and Scully. It's not a planned out thing. Like, they both reach for each other at the exact same time. It's like they're so in tune with each other and in sync, and they both wanted the same thing at the same time in their moment of weakness and need, which is, I think, a very beautiful thing.
And there's no words. I mean, they've been through hell and they just reach for each other because they just need to feel each other's presence. Number 3 from Terma. So I feel like the moment right before this moment is the more famous moment when he walks into the court and he's been missing for a while and Scully's actually gone to basically, jail for him. She's gotten, she's been held in contempt, that's what it's called. And so, she's really sacrificed a lot for him in this episode, and then he shows up right at the right moment, and he basically gets her off the hook, and there's just this lovely look between the two, and so that's been kind of the more famous moment, but I love this moment even more after, the judge or the senator who's on the hearing dismisses them, or they go into recess, and Scully kind of turns around and jumps right out of her chair, like you see. And I just love the way Mulder says, "It's good to put my arms around you." It's such a sweet line. And I know he's kind of referring to the fact that he almost got his arm chopped off, so it's good to have both of his arms, but I choose to take it in the more romantic way of, it's good to feel my arms around you again. That's just how I choose to interpret it.
Number 2, Redux 2. This is another hand-holding moment. I guess there's a lot of those in the show, but we picked this one because there's like a lingering quality to it, It's kind of like, I don't know, it reminds me of that Sistine Chapel thing, like the fingers touching, because that famous painting.
I'm too Jewish for that.
Well, okay, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, their hands are just, they're barely touching, but there's something kind of wistful, and it's a sad scene. Scully's obviously deathly ill, but there's a lot can be spoken in a touch.
Our number 1 top shipper moment you may have missed is from the first movie, Fight the Future. So obviously there's a huge romantic scene in this movie where they almost kiss. It's probably the most famous scene from the movie, I would say, right?
One of the most famous maybe from the whole history of the show.
The show. Yeah, it's hugely famous. So everybody remembers that, but I'm not gonna say I like this moment more, but I think I like it as much. There's something about it that's so out of character for Scully and so sweet that in this moment, he's giving her CPR because she stopped breathing, and there's all this panic, and there's aliens that are trying to break out of their ice caskets, and there's a lot of immediacy to the whole thing. She wakes up to the world falling apart around them, and she still takes a moment to say, "I had you big time." So out of character for Scully, she's not usually the funny one out of the two of them, and in this situation, you really don't expect that to be the first thing she says. But I don't know, it's just such a sweet moment. And then of course he brushes the hair off her face, and we love those moments too.
Do you think, did she really plan that? To fake him out, or did she just realize that'd be a cute, flirty thing to say?
Oh yeah, no, she's not faking him out. She definitely stopped breathing.
Because I think for, maybe at first when I was 12, I was like, oh wow, that's really kind of crazy. You're about to be attacked by an alien.
Joke, Scully, come on.
Okay.
No, I just think she wakes up and sees the worry in his face, and that's the first thing that comes to mind is to pretend like it's a joke. Yeah, which is just sweet.
Makes so much more sense that way.
Their relationship sustains even when there's aliens about to kill them. So those were our top 10 overlooked shippy moments, so we say. There were so many, honestly, that we had to eliminate a bunch from this list. We feel like we could do a whole nother episode on these because there's so many obvious moments, but there really are so many under the radar moments too.
Yeah.
The show is packed full with them. So What are some of the ones that you think should have been on the list? Like, please let us know.
Yeah, as always, reach out to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Definitely follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We've been putting up some photos, some kind of fun things. I won't say too much, but you're not seeing it here on YouTube, so definitely follow us over there. And remember, trust no one
But us.
Bye.
Anything to add?
Well, I would if you didn't talk so damn much. I'm kidding. But seriously, I think you said enough. Okay. In the nicest of ways. I'm not trying to be a bitch at all.
No.
Like, this is sounding worse and worse the more I keep talking.
Let's keep her drinking.
Okay. It's a touch.
You got something.
Oh.
No.
Well,
Should we
that was
start that
really
one?
sweet. Thank you. Did I really have something?
No, you didn't.
Oh.
I just thought it was funny. What? Oh.
All right, let's get the giggles out.
Okay.
I love that he keeps the camera rolling when he leaves the room. Hi, Sean.
Hi,
Editing Sean.
I hope you're enjoying this.
Yeah. Where are we?
Number 2.
Sorry.